In this video, we're going to walk through some of the new features that are included in the new update for CRE8 3.0. So starting on just the simple page, there's not too much added here. In fact, all it is the low pass filter type and the high pass filter type pull downs. This doesn't really increase any functionality as those are already available on the advanced page, but here we just have them so that you can easily select them so that you're not having to click through and get to those if those are the only things you're trying to affect. So for instance, what you have here is a low pass filter 6, 12, 18, and 24 to give an idea of what that gives you. So that's on 6. So I just wanted to do that, but I want it to be a little bit more extreme. I can change it to LP24. It takes out a little bit more high end than the LP6. I'll go ahead and switch that back. So let's go ahead and move on to the advanced page. Over here, one of the things that we have added is a super attack fader right next to the amplitude velocity fader. All this is going to do is give you a little bit more bump on the attack. If you're wanting it to cut through a little bit more, you can just increase that there. One of the main features in our 3.0 updates, and this includes our Pad Motion 3.0, is the gate. You can get to that by clicking where it says gate on the tabs up here. So let's go ahead and turn this on. For simplicity's sake, this is a 2-layered patch, so I'm going to just bypass this other layer so we're only hearing one. Let's see here. I'm going to turn the ARP off, and I'm just going to increase the sustain. So let's hear what that is. Okay. So we're not hearing it being affected because the amount is all the way at 0. So if we want to increase that, just turn the knob. So there's the gate. Let's go over some of the presets that are in here. Some of them have quite cryptic naming. As you can see, a lot of the presets are just a few X's and some dashes. Imagine the dashes are just 16th subdivisions. So the reason we named it this way, it should be a bit easier to see the rhythm that the gate is creating. So this one is actually just going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So we'll click on that. Pretty straightforward. The next one's going to be 1, 2, 3, and. And it continues that way. I mean, you can click on any of these and you can see the rhythm looks the same as what we're seeing in the name itself. If you're familiar with the other functions that we have over here in the step modulator on the motion page, pretty much all the functions on the step modulators are also available here on the gate, minus a few features. So you have the amount. You also have the notes. So the notes pretty much just increasing the rate or decreasing it. So that's increasing it, turning it to the left. We'll decrease it. Then you also have the step where you can add more steps. You can shift it around by clicking any of these buttons or reverse the order. While we're on the motion page, another feature that we've added is if you turn on the envelope, the user envelope, I'm going to turn off the gate here. So we're back to just a sustaining sound. So we're back to just a sustaining sound. I'm going to click on another preset here. Let's go with drop flux. So it's affecting the level. So another feature that we added is the multiplier and divider on the grid for the user envelope. This should really start to speed things up for you if you like a preset in here, but you want it to be a little bit faster or maybe even slower. It got quite cumbersome to try and reflect that on the grid by moving nodes around or even changing the subdivisions on the grid so that you could snap it in the right place. It got really quite hard. And so one of the things we did is we added this multiplier and divider. So let's say we like the preset that we have right now, which is drop flux. We want it to be twice as fast. Well, what we can do is we can divide the grid by 2. And so we can go in here, hit divide by 2. Now it's twice as fast. Or if you like the way it was before, just reverse your steps. So instead of divide by 2, multiply by 2. So this is what we started off with. And let's say we wanted to make it twice as slow. Just do divide by, or I'm sorry, just multiply the grid by 2 again. This is really handy when you're just trying to work quickly, but you want to speed it up, you want to slow it down, and you don't want to mess with the grid. This should help in those instances. Something else I forgot to mention is on the synth page, we have an oscillator drift function. I'm going to bypass this for the moment. I'm going to go over the second layer. Bring this back up, turn the ARP off, put the sustain on so that we just have a sustaining preset. Okay. So to utilize the oscillator drift, the multi has to be on. If it's off, it's inaccessible. Pretty much what this is trying to do is emulate the pitch drift you may get with a vintage analog synth or something similar. So if I turn on the multi, we can hear, I'm going to turn this all the way at 0 so it's not affecting it. Okay, so that's what it sounds like. It's a very subtle, very subtle modulation that's happening, but I'll turn this up and we can hear the difference hopefully. So there's a subtle difference in there, but when you have all 3 of these going, and let's say you even have the oscillator drifts on all of them, you can get quite a cool effect. So for Poly 3.0, that wraps up a lot of the new features. If you have Poly CRE8 already, this is a free update. You can either go to our website, www.samplefuel.com updates page, or if you have it up, you should just be able to click on the check for updates and then click there and it'll take you right to it. In addition to all these features on the interface, there are also new presets, and there will be a patch walkthrough demonstrating that, and depending on when you're watching this video, it may already be out. Stay tuned for that.